Hello, hello. Welcome back to Let's Talk Ray Bradbury. If you've not yet subscribed to our channel, please take a moment to do that now. So here on Let's Talk Ray Bradbury, we are slowly working our way through the stories of Ray Bradbury, a collection of 100 tales. We are up to story number 80 of 100 today, which is I Sing the Body Electric from 1969. This is perhaps one of his most famous short stories. The way these videos work is I like to do a short synopsis of the tale and then wrap up by sort of sharing my thoughts and feelings about what it all means to me, why the story remains relevant all these decades after its original publication. So as for the synopsis, our narrator is Tom, a little boy. He has another brother named Tim and a little sister named Agatha, and they've just lost their mother. Their aunt, who they overhear talking to their father, wants them to come live with her because they need a mother, and he's a hardworking person who doesn't have maybe as much time as he should. But there's a very heated debate, and then father eventually says that, yeah, I'm keeping them, but I have another option. So they pull out a pamphlet, and they learn that they can buy an electrical grandmother, a sort of robot made by a man named Guido Fantaccini, I believe that's the name. So they go to see Guido Fantaccini at his factory, and he walks them through a process of making selections of different things and sampling their voices and different information. And lo and behold, several months later, a box that is described as a sarcophagus arrives by helicopter at their house, and they open it up, and there is their very own electrical grandmother. Father mostly falls out of the story at this point, but he returns later. And we sort of follow mostly with the narration of Tom, along with Tim and Agatha. Tom and Tim warm up to their new electrical grandmother very, very quickly. But Agatha, she's very reluctant. She's a little girl in the family, and she misses her mother. Tom, the oldest, he is the most observant of the group. He takes many photos of the various family members with their new grandmother and notices a very subtle thing that happens. Every time she's looking at a different one of them, or dealing with a different one of them, she looks slightly different. Something changes in her physique under the skin, and she's very, very subtle in this way. And he also notices that she manages to have time and to give each of them her complete attention, something that even their own mother really couldn't have done. Going on, there is a long, sort of mostly monologue section at the dinner table where grandmother describes to the father how her creator very much disliked the way that people in the world sort of looked at machines and misunderstood them and sort of feared them and thought of them as flawed and potentially dangerous and also abused them. And Guido Fantaccini, he decided that I'm going to make a robot with its full potential for love and for companionship, and that is basically what she is as a result. Agatha, in hearing this discussion about love, basically blurts out, "I could never love you," and runs out of the house. She runs across the yard into the street and is very nearly struck by a car when grandmother manages to rescue her, throw her out of the way while herself being struck by the vehicle. Agatha sits in a heap crying, sort of falling into herself even further than this cocoon she's been in for all these months, and she sees this as another person having left her, just like her mother. But lo and behold, grandmother has survived. She appears behind them, begins talking, says, "I could never leave you. I'm very durable. I'm going to be around much, much longer than you are, and you can love me. You can open up to me." Years later, all the kids have grown up. Agatha is the youngest, and she's the last to go off to college. And so, as she's packing her bags, so too does grandmother pack her own bags. And they get all teary-eyed. They wonder, where's grandma going? And grandma says, it's time for me to go back to the factory. And she tells them about this sort of sitting room, where all the other grandmothers sit and talk to each other and share their experiences and learn from one another, and that she's going to live practically forever, and if they ever need her again, with help with their own children and their own families, she can be made available, and also on their dying deathbeds when they're doddering old people near the end of their own lives. Grandmother, she has all the old memories stored, and she can be there, and she can again offer her her love and support and that connection to their past, to their families, that even the living really can't do, because we always lose some of our family inevitably, and it's always sort of the wrong timing. So this is probably one of Bradbury's most famous stories, and for good reason. It is an awesome story. It's 2023. If you've never read the story, maybe you hear the description and you think, okay, it's about artificial intelligence. What's so remarkable about that? But going back to the 60s when he was writing this, it's a less common theme. Fairly common in science fiction, but I think this is one of the best stories, best examples of sort of AI being discussed in a science fiction environment back in the day. And why? I think it's because most stories have fallen on the crutch of robots are evil, humans are scum, they see us as a virus and they're going to wipe us out. That's sort of become the thing over the last few decades. But this story is very much about love. At no point is Grandma ever a real threat to the family. Agatha sees her as a threat because she's unwilling to open her heart to the love. But grandmother, perhaps in a way that no human could do, really she offers the level of assurance that I will never die, I will never abandon you, and it's actually true because she is in fact not alive. And that is one of the advantages of artificial intelligence, is sort of the ability to people need stability, and people love routine, and when death, bereavement shakes up lives, it's hard to ever get back on track. And this electrical grandmother, provides a constant. And it's quite interesting that she's described as electrical. It's I sing the body electric, and if you think about it, the question's always whether artificial intelligence is alive, and it boils down to the idea that we're all electrical machines anyway, bioelectrical. And in fact, I love that sort of connection that we all run on electricity, even our creations, such as the grandmother. I think this story's it's all the more relevant today in our world of emerging AI and even just the internet. And I think of Tesla's upcoming robot Optimus as an example, but even just on the regular internet and with our phones. And I've been online since the mid-90s, and there was a thing that people used to always say, which is, in real life, as if when they were online, they weren't talking to real people, and that no damage could be done by mistreatment. And I think this is something that we still struggle with as a society, and we've seen this especially in the last few years with cyberbullying and also social media, and discovering now that things that are misinformation that is spread online has real world in-person effects. And so the real solution here is that, yes, our cyber lives, our online lives, we're always real, and we're just, I think, beginning to understand that in a widespread way. I think some people have always understood it. People have died over internet bullying, through suicide. People have been lured to their deaths in real life by people online. So the cyber life, it very much is a real life, and therefore, it's not just a matter of all the bad that can be done, but also the good, the real, honest-to-goodness relationships and friendships that are struck up. My channel co-owner, Jeremiah, I met him online at an old message board that I owned 23 years ago, and we're still at it, making video content together. And, we chat on the phone and share each other's issues, and it's a real friendship. And many people have found their soulmates online through dating services and other interactions. So really the lesson here is to not dismiss the electrical, the cyber. It's just an extension of us, and it's as one of the major points of the story is made in that monologue section, is that machines, their capacity for good or evil depends solely on the capacity and the intent of the creator. So I think if we stick to good intentions and don't let us drag our phobias and our fears and our hates, and don't drag any of that into our creations. If we see this creation of AI as much as an artistic endeavor as a technical endeavor, I think we're going to be okay. We're not have to worry about Skynet taking over and putting us at war with the machines anytime soon. So, all right, guys. I Sing the Body Electric, 1969, story number 80 of 100 in the Stories of Ray Bradbury collection. Moving on, we are now inside the 20 to go mark as I sprint towards wrapping up this project here we've been doing the last couple of years here on Let's Talk. Next time, we'll be looking at The Women from 1948. Again, story number 81 of 100. So we're almost there, hoping to get through this collection by the end of January, and then lots of new and exciting things coming up that we'll talk about at another time. So thank you for tuning in, and I will see you again soon.